Well, good morning everybody. This is the third time I've tried to film this, but let's persevere. So I'm in a little bit of a different location today. I thought, let's have a change of scenery. So I'm in the kitchen and this is the gable wall behind me, and that's the cabinet that I got. I think that was from the tip shop. Anybody that's from another country, all your big rubbish that you need to get rid of, you can take it to a place, we always call them tips. And what they do now in a lot of places, they put all the paint and wood preservative in one area for you to help yourself to, and then in one that we go to sometimes in Derbyshire, there's a little shop, and I do believe that the money goes to wildlife, which is a fantastic thing. So this cabinet was from there and it was £6. I've got all my pottery in, that's cottage pottery, and there's my picture of the hare, and that came out of a magazine, and I've just put it into a pretty frame that I got from the charity shop. There's the birthday mug, and just there's the swans just here. I've got two of those on there, and quite a lot of green pottery, because I do love the green pottery. 1930s Art Deco. Right, anyway, what have I been doing? Well, I've had quite a busy time, so I lost my mojo with craft work, but it's starting to reappear. So I thought I'll get my crochet nook out. Last night I thought I want to do some crocheting. So I've got this yarn, and it's alpaca, and it's baby alpaca, and I think it's King Cole, and I paid 50p for it, and I think there's 50 gram of it. It's so soft, it's unbelievable. It's beautiful. So I thought what I normally do is make a chain, put it around my head so it feels comfortable, and that's how I make a neck warmer. And I've done it with quite an open stitch, so you know, because of warm weather, I thought I don't want something as dense, so that's what I'm doing. Although I might do something that I never do, and that is rip this back and start again, because feeling how soft it is, it's made me now want a little neck shawl. So I think I'm going to do that, because you might as well make things that you like, and I thought there's going to be a lot left if I just make a neck warmer, and I think it's that type of yarn that will just flop. So yes, I'm talking to you and talking to myself as well, so that's what that's going to do. Now Rowan, who watches, was asking about the Rowan book that I got yesterday. So there's some little bits of paper that's come out of it, a little voucher, but I think this is quite an old one. So it's from Rowan Publishing, because she did ask. Green Lane Mill, Holmfirth, West Yorkshire, and then it's got the postcode HD7 1RW, and that's the mill on the back for anybody that likes old buildings. So that's the little booklet. Beautiful skeins on the front, and let me just have a look. So this says Rowan Journal #1. So I'm just having a look. It was published 3 times a year, but this is quite a few years old, so I can't see the date at the moment. Can't see it on the front or the back. It's not in the front page where it normally is. But I'll tell you how I know that it's old. Because there's somebody in here that if you love textiles, you will know this person straight away. And you'll notice how young he is. There we are, look. So that's Calf Facet, I think it is. Let me just have a look. Yeah, it is. And I love some of his textiles because he uses such beautiful colours, and the harmony of colours that he uses is perfection. But he's quite a young man there, and so I think this is quite old. I'm not really sure. Let's have a look. Oh, it says on the back 95, so that's 30 odd years old, 40 odd years old. Let me just think about it. 95. No, it's 30 years old, isn't it? Just over. It is early in the morning, you'll have to forgive me. So I just thought I'd show you that, Rowan, and I know that other people would be interested in it. And it's quite a lovely book. Obviously it's of its time. It's got the journal news in it, and of course everybody loved a stencil in that era, and I still love them. I had them everywhere at one time, and then I got fed up and I painted them out, but I'm just going to try and show you. There we are, look. Dyed in the wool, which is a saying that we have in this country. It's sort of when it's always been there and it's permanent. People say, you know, oh yeah, it's dyed in the wool. Yeah, so that's where that comes from. So I'll just read to you about it. So it's: born in Bradford in the shadow of the biggest dye house in the world, Mike Barraclough grew up knowing the sights and smells of the dyeing industry. When his mother sent him across the field to the dye works at 16 to start an apprenticeship, it was perhaps inevitable that he would become one of the most experienced dyers in England. So there we are. And each unique Rowan colour, the standard, is kept in its own original box. So that's where they would use the reference for the colours. This is when this country was at its peak for manufacturing, design, and it really was second to none, I think. I've got to say, you know, it's a funny thing in this country because we're not very good at taking praise. It's a funny trait that English people have got, but I think the things that were manufactured in this country were of the highest standard, and I think that's why people like myself that go charity shopping, which I know in some countries is called op shops or thrifting, you can pick things up that are made in England and you know that they're going to be well made because the standards were so high. Particularly years ago, places like Marks and Spencer's, I know there was a lot of knitting manufacturing around where I live, and they did a lot of work for Marks and Spencer's. Talking about dyeing works, there was a massive concern around here in several places. One at Lee Brooks, I think it would be called, and that was Stevenson's Dye Works. Anybody that knows round here will remember Stevenson's Dye Works. And they also had a big place at Ambergate. Now, my brother, my late brother, it's a strange thing to say, I think it's the first time I've said it. When he finished school, he went straight to Stevenson's Dye Works and he did an apprenticeship to become I forget what it's called now, but he was a electrician, but it had got a really good title, you know, and he always insisted that people would remember this title. He wasn't just an electrician, he was like for industry, you know, and he was very proud of that. And even at his funeral, he insisted that that was read out. You know, he wanted it to be done proper. And of course, he'd done the work, so why not? But yeah, that's... And there's one of the charts, look. Beautiful. Really is lovely. I would love to be able to do that, but the only way I'd be able to do that is on a knitting machine, which I did have, but because you have to go backwards and forwards, the pain was too much in this shoulder, so I had to let it go. That went overseas. So and there, just at the bottom, look, that's some ladies that are knitting by the looks of it. So that's lovely to see. And the lady in the blue, I don't know if you can see it, she's holding the needles just like my mum used to. Just look at that, beautiful. Look at that. It is a work of art, isn't it? These pictures. There we are, look. Beautiful colours once again. Absolutely stunning. Perfect. And once again, the charts. So it is a lovely book. And the main reason I got it was because of the social history, which I do love. And I do love designers and people that make things. You know, I love creative people. If you're a creative person and you're outdoorsy as well, then you're welcome, because that's my type of person. But I thought I'd just show you that because I thought it was of interest. You know, it is of its time. It is in the 90s by the looks of it. And all the wool that we used to knit with, it was all sort of processed in this country and dyed in this country, and going back to Marks and Spencer's. So if the factories around here, because there was Viella, Courtaulds, English Rose, I think that was another one, oh, numerous ones. I mean, Viella was top. But if they knew that Marks and Spencer's inspectors were coming, because they used to come and inspect the work, it used to put a bit of anxiety and stress on the workers, because they knew they'd got to get it right to get the orders in. And just incredible, really. And I have actually got a stool, a wooden stool that was from one of the hosiery factories that a lady that lives down the road, she used to work there, and she'd got the stool. They were clearing stuff out and I ended up with it. And I love the fact that, you know, that had been in the factory probably from when it was built. And also another thing that I've got is talking about something slightly different. But the local post office, I've got a very old washstand that's an antique, and that was in the building when they first started the post office. So that's a lovely thing, isn't it, to have? And it just makes you think, you know, of its journey, really. And it's not been broken up, it's ended up coming here, you know, which is like an archive in my head of things of importance. A lot of people, you know, they don't understand the importance of some of the things, even humble things, which I think it's absolutely critical that we keep some of the things. I know I'm bordering on a hoarder. You know, I can still walk through my house, don't worry. But yeah, I just find some of the things absolutely fascinating. And you know, I haven't just got, you know, antique pottery. I've actually got quite a large collection of Pyrex, and so that will evoke lots of memories for a lot of people that are watching this. And you used to get bits of Pyrex that was free. And I remember in the 60s, I think it was from Purcell, you saved tokens that were on the box, and then you'd send them off, and in the post you'd get little white Pyrex dishes with red roses on. I wonder if any of you can remember that. And I know my mum, she was a big fan of Pyrex, so she had clear Pyrex. So we had everything, dishes, plates, you know, dessert dishes, dinner plates, cups and saucers, you name it. But she did, in the 60s this is, my mum used to always make rice puddings in the oven, and they used to come out lovely, beautiful, beautiful creamy colour, which is to me is the proper rice pudding look, if you know what I mean. The colour is important. Anyway, this particular day she put it in the oven, and there was a loud bang, and the Pyrex from the 60s, so I know people have had stories about the Pyrex that isn't as good, that was made a few years ago, but this was old Pyrex, and it actually exploded in the oven. So isn't it funny how things take you back and they remind you of different things? And I remember I've still got, I think, a cup and saucer, because I let a lot of my things go to charity shops, but I've still got a cup and saucer that's in smoked glass, and I thought that was the height of sophistication in the 80s. And I can remember going somewhere and having a cup and saucer that was smoked glass. And can anybody remember Vision saucepans? They were smoked glass. Vision ware it was called. And of course you could see everything through the glass, boiling and bubbling away on your cooker, on your stove. But it was very nice when it was clean, but you had to keep it pristine, because if not, it just used to look dreadful. But that's of another time, isn't it? Right, anyway, I'll crack on with a few more things. I'm pleased I've got my mojo back. Things do happen in life, don't they, that you're happy enough. You're happy enough in yourself, but there's a bit of a cloud that sometimes stops your creative juices, and that's what it has been for me. Right, anyway, I've got to crack on. Lots of love, everybody, and thanks for coming and listening to me waffle and ramble on like I do. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, because it does make me feel quite giddy if the numbers start going up. Right, anyway, enough of my waffling. Lots of love. Bye.